Okay, so this is the second time I'm deciding to record this because the first time I don't know, I was in the right headspace for a lot of the things. And frankly, I don't really know if I'm going to be by the end of this one either. I'm not here to go too far into the details of what happened. I'm just here to acknowledge it and move on with my fucking life. Because that's all I can really do. Or try to do, I guess. If you want a proper explanation, I've left some links in the description. The first one being Willie J's tweet and the Google document that goes over everything, and then Sybil's video. If you want to see those things and you want to see proper explanations, feel free to look at those. Shay meant a lot to me as a person, and I'm not saying this to justify their actions. They're a fucking monster. Um, After reading through as much as I can, and because I woke up at 7 p.m. to a good friend of mine talking to me about all of this immediately after waking up. Is the first thing I saw was the first message in my DMs, and figuring out that not only is your idol a goddamn pedophile, but who I also considered to be at least a semi friend of mine, because we had talked in DMs, and we were pretty close in terms of like you know me joining on their stream and talking. I mean, for fuck's sakes, I've never been subscribed to anyone else on Twitch because I barely go on Twitch as long as I had been to them, right? Suffice to say, like I started this channel because I was motivated by what Shayy did, how much they had proven that someone in the Undertale community can really know their craft and really know so much about the game that they can build a whole fan base around it. And I learned a lot of the things that I know now because of Shay's videos. Again, I don't really, I'm probably going to go in circles a lot, but the point being is that Shayy meant a lot to me as a person. Um, Usually when these things happen to YouTubers, I say, what I usually always say is that, oh, this person is a fucking horrible person. Support victims, obviously support victims, 100%. And I just kind of move on with my life after that. Because as someone who has been a victim themselves, I won't go into details about that, but as someone who has been a victim in the past, when I was much younger at least, I know that these things happen, and these things happen behind closed doors a lot of the times, 100% of the times almost. And a lot of the times I'm shocked, but I get to move on with my life. I've been there since goddamn mini lad got outed out. I'm not. This isn't anything new to me. That's what I'm trying to say. I've had mini lad. I've had Wilbur Sode. I've had so many other fucking people turn out like this and turn out to be god awful human beings, right? But to have someone who I thought I was getting really like, I considered them a friend. I don't care how they felt about it. If they didn't consider me a friend or whatever, that's fine. I don't care anymore. Um, but I felt like I was a friend to them to some degree. Maybe not someone who was a close friend, but as someone who would occasionally talk, would occasionally ask about things or talk about things, or would occasionally, tune into their streams and tune into their content, and you know, as someone who would know them and they would know me, and to have someone at least to some degree turn out to be like that, honestly, just I've never had anything like this happen to me. That's why I'm kind of shell shocked at the moment. The only other person I know who has been that much of an asshole to me in the past, we're currently fine now, and it was never to a degree like this. I've never met anyone who's been like this. I'm still pretty young. I'm only 19. Like I don't know that many people who are even 18 yet. A lot of the people that I met were a lot younger than me when I met them. So I was like 16 and they could have been like 13. And we kind of just met and talked, and because we all just kind of liked the same things, we just kind of got into contact. So I don't know anyone who's really a lot older than me. There's only a couple people that I'm not going to mention. Um, but the point being is that, see, I told you I was going to go into circle. Fuck me. Point being, in general, I liked Shayy as a person. And I thought what they were doing. I mean, the reason why this channel exists again is because of them. I got motivated to start speedrunning Undertale, which I was gonna start streaming pretty soon. Hopefully, I don't know. I got into working on projects and modding the game as well because of them. Everything I do now related to Undertale and Deltarune was because of them. Because I wasn't into Undertale a lot until recently, like very recently. I'm talking last year. I recently got into everything and got into the community again and realized, oh my god, how much has changed over the years, and I wanted to be a part of it again, right? Now, does that mean that I'm not going to be a part of the Undertale community anymore because of this whole thing? Of course not. I'm gonna, of course, I'm still gonna be a part of it. Um, just because of this whole situation, that doesn't mean I'm, gonna leave forever. I'm just gonna take a lot longer to, but it's frankly taking a lot longer as it is because of, situation IRL that I cannot talk about at the moment, happening and, stopping me from actually working on videos that I need to properly work on. But yeah, there's a lot more that I wanted to say, but I think I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to make this too long. I just want to get any of my thoughts out and just dip for the next, I don't know, however long time I need to just kind of process everything. I hope you all take care of yourselves and try and cope with everything. And most importantly, support victims. Always support victims. This wasn't a video about me trying to say how good Shayy was, but how good I thought they were, and how much they meant to me as a person, and how much they don't obviously mean to me anymore. So, yeah. Anyways, have a good one. Bye.